Hi folks, in this video we're going to talk about the 5 new gun bills that were just passed in the New Jersey State Assembly March 24th, 2025. We're going to briefly discuss these bills and what they mean if they get passed and ultimately signed into law by the governor. Let's get started. 2 of these are very concerning to me, and I'll explain why. The one is the last bill I'm going to talk about, so you want to stick around to the end to hear that. The first one I want to briefly discuss is A4974, which prescribes penalties for the sale and possession of machine gun conversion devices. This refers to the so-called Glock switch, which can be purchased and made a semi-automatic handgun into a automatic handgun. These devices are already banned under New Jersey statute, so I don't know, and also on the federal level, so I don't know why this bill or law is even required. And given the fact that New Jersey's definition already differs on the federal definition, I think this bill, if it gets signed into law, is just going to make it a little more confusing. So there's already a law on the books about converting or using a machine gun, owning or possessing a machine gun, or converting a gun into a machine gun. So I don't know why this bill is even being considered. Bill A4975 creates a crime for the possession of digital instructions to manufacture firearms or components. So that means it creates a crime if someone never produces a gun or a component. So if you just have the digital instructions on your computer, for example, of how to make a magazine or a gun part, a barrel or grips, you can be charged with a crime under this statute. So simply having the digital file on your computer could subject you to criminal penalties. Bill A1389 requires confiscation of ammunition and certain firearm components in response to domestic violence restraining orders or convictions. So, of course, New Jersey already has gun confiscation laws as they pertain to restraining orders. So any kind of domestic violence restraining order or charge results in gun confiscation in New Jersey. I don't know why they needed to add the ammunition and the accessories part. The last 2 are a little troubling to me. A4976 establishes the crime of reckless discharge. There's already a couple of statutes that handle unlawful discharge of a firearm. So if you're out in public and you have a gun for unlawful purpose, say you're going to rob a liquor store, there are a couple statutes, 2C39-4 and -5. Possession of a firearm or weapon for unlawful purpose and unlawful possession of a firearm. And of course, there are exceptions to these statutes, and one of the exceptions is to have the permit to carry. But not to get into the details of that, there is already the ability to charge someone who unlawfully has a gun and discharges it in public. Those 2 statutes primarily. So this statute, to me, since it's already illegal to discharge a firearm in an unlawful manner, meaning you're just out there shooting at street signs, for example. So if you're lawfully shooting the gun at a shooting range, for example, that's one of the exceptions to unlawful discharge. However, this statute, to me, it's just they want another way to go for the lawful gun owners. I just checked today, and as of this date, there are over 70,000 concealed carry or permit to carry a handgun permits issued in the state of New Jersey. So to me, it seems like this bill, if it becomes law, it will just be another statute that they could charge a lawful gun owner with, even if it's a justifiable shooting. Even though that's a affirmative defense, of course, this statute, I don't know why you would bring this statute, because again, there are already 2 statutes on the books that are used when someone is unlawfully carrying a gun or carrying a gun for unlawful purpose, like if they go to rob a liquor store, for example. I don't know what their thinking is here, but this is the state of New Jersey we're talking about. But this to me seems like it's another way that anytime a firearm's used, even in a legitimate situation, that you don't know if one of the prosecutors in the state are going to use this law, if it becomes a law, to charge the lawful gun owner. And finally, folks, A5345 mandates the use of merchant consumer category codes for firearms purchases. This legislation sets or lays the groundwork for gun registration and weaponizes the banking industry, because with this bill, if it becomes law, they're required to provide these codes for specific purchases for gun dealers. Promotes the registry of who's buying what and in how much. So they're going to keep track of ammunition, they're going to keep track of guns, they're going to keep track of gun parts. And so it mandates that the banking industry do this, because they have to provide these codes or set these categories to the gun dealers. Next step for these bills, folks, is to go to the Senate. Of course, there will probably be amendments and changes, and then it will go to the Senate for a vote in the Senate. Of course, if it passes and it gets to the governor, we all know the governor is going to sign it. If he does nothing, it'll eventually become law anyway. So we will see what happens, folks. Feel free to put in the comments your thoughts on these bills and what you think if they do become law. I will put a link in the description for anyone that wants to read these bills. I know we just touched on them briefly, each one. There's a little more detail to each one, but really not much. You got the gist of it with my summary. And I'll also put a link to our online course if you want information on that. It's available. It's over 23 hours of online instruction for concealed carry and situational awareness. I'll also put a link to my latest book. It ranked bestseller in multiple countries and multiple categories. You can buy it or get more information off of the Amazon link that you'll find in the description and on the screen. If you like the video, please hit that like button and share it. And if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing for more videos like this. I'm going to try to keep everybody up to date with these bills and laws in New Jersey especially. As always, folks, thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe.